Hey guys, welcome back to Soul Love. I am in the garden and I'm setting up a Bokashi bin, and I'm also setting up a new worm bin. So I wanted to bring you along just so you can see how I actually set up the one that I show you guys updates on. I was driving and happened to see two totes being thrown out, so I stopped and put them in my car. This one has a lid, this one does not. I'm going to experiment with the Bokashi bin just being covered up with cardboard just to see how it will break down. So we'll see how that goes, but the worm bin definitely needs a lid just to maintain the temperature inside the bin. Worms like to be in darkness, so I'm going to actually put some cardboard on top and the lid just to keep them in a more controlled temperature environment that they like. So here's the size. I'm honestly not sure exactly what size this is because, like I said again, oh, here we go. It's a 27 gallon. Okay, so I'm gonna use some of the worms. Come on now. We need the pollinators, but they can be really annoying. Okay, so I'm going to use some of the worms from my current bin. I don't have to buy any more worms. Like, once you buy them and once you establish your bin, they multiply very, very quickly. So, you know, just keep that in mind. You don't have to keep buying worms. That is, of course, unless your worms die, which fingers crossed, you know, that doesn't happen. So I have some coconut coir that I bought online. I'm going to actually go ahead and put this in some water. This comes as a brick. It makes up to 18 gallons. You soak it in water, and this is going to provide a really good bedding for the worms. I'm also going to add in some leaves that I collected last year from one of the bags here, and also some vermiculite. That'll help to just help with their digestive system. So of course, as the worms ingest the food and the coconut coir and the vermiculite, it'll turn into that rich black gold that we all want and that our plants love, right? In Georgia, y'all, I'm trying to do this video, and this is probably not the smartest thing to do because it is the hot part of the day, but it's about to start raining. And then the temperature is kind of rocky these next couple of days, so I want to get this done out the way. So excuse me as I sweat profusely. It's really hot out here. So first thing I need to do is drill some holes into this bin. I'm just going to do this around the top. Now, the difference between my old bin and this bin is that this one actually is double stacked, whereas this one just going to be a just solid one single layer bin. And I just wanted to see the difference, honestly. So with this other bin I have, it has holes drilled in the bottom. There's a bin down here at the bottom to catch the liquid, which is a leachate, which you can actually use to water your garden as it collects. So there are holes around the side, holes in the lid, and holes on the bottom to collect the liquid. So this one, I'm just going to put holes around the side and none in the lid. I would think the con might be that I have to be a little more vigilant on kind of keeping an eye on the water, because you don't want it to be too saturated. You want it to be like a wrung out sponge. So we'll see the pros and cons, and I'll be able to compare as I go along, and I can always convert this one later if I want to. So let's drill some holes. And just FYI, y'all, I'm going about every 1.5 to 2 inches around. this is soaking. Keep in mind, you don't have to use cocoa coir. I'm using it just because I had it on hand and I just kind of wanted to see if it would help to maintain the moisture in the compost bin a little bit better. But you can use newspaper. Worms love cardboard. You can shred that up. You can use, I'm actually going to mix some of my garden soil in. So know that you don't have to run out and buy cocoa coir. My other bin does not have any cocoa coir in it and it's working just fine. Again, this is more so for me to see if this will maintain the moisture inside a little bit better, especially since it doesn't have any drainage holes in it. You know, so keep your garden open for experimenting is a good rule of thumb for me anyway. So I'm checking just to make sure all this is absorbing the water. And I noticed that my other bin had a hole in the bottom, so that's why I switched it over to this one. And honestly, if I wasn't doing this for my worm bin, I could just let this sit in like a full thing of water, not worry about the extra water. But because I don't want it to be too wet, of course, I'm trying to keep an eye on there not being too much water left in the bin. So as opposed to adding more water, I'm just going in and breaking up some of these larger chunks. Looking pretty good. All right, so next thing I'll add is some vermiculite. This will help again with some of the digestion for the worms. I'm actually going to add some of this compost from my other compost bin here. That'll also kind of help to get things rolling along for the current bin. All right. All right, so that's the bottom layer, that nice mixture. All right, so this is pretty much what you want. You notice when you squeeze it, there's no water dripping out, but it's also holding together nicely when you squeeze it. So that's about the texture you want to maintain your worm bin. Next thing I'll add are some leaves, brown leaves. So keep in mind, you're not doing a traditional compost bin, you're doing a worm bin, which is also another name for vermicomposting. So if you do that mixture of greens and browns like in a traditional compost bins, your bin will heat up and you're likely to kill your worms, which you don't want to do. So notice everything I've pretty much added so far has been brown. Okay, so the next thing I'll add is some food for the worms. So this is the bucket I keep on our kitchen counter. And this was coconut oil once upon a time. So coffee grounds, eggshells, banana peels, veggies, fruit, all goes in here. Main things you don't want to add into your worm bin is citrus and onions. Honestly, I've added onions before and it's been okay, but because they breathe through their skin, and because they take in moisture through their skin, you don't want to, that acid to bother them. So what I'm going to do is put the food on one side of the bin. That way when this food is gone, I'm going to put the food on the other side of the bin. That way I can get them in the habit of moving from left to right. And this will also make it easier for me to harvest worm castings. So we'll put that there on that side. And I didn't worry about chopping anything up, honestly. You can see that little peel, that label is still on there. I'm not going to worry about that right now. It'll float to the top or surface to the top. And I'm going to add a little bit of water. And now it's time for our worms. So this other bin should look real familiar to you guys. This is where our buddies are. I'm looking for my glove. My other glove. There it is. This is like my worm glove. Go in here and add some of these guys to their new home. Lots of worms still, y'all. It's still looking really, really good. I'm gonna pull. Actually, I might add some of this cardboard. Maybe. We have cricket got in there. Come on, not cricket. Did I get it? Did it? Whatever. Okay, let's get some of these. Alright, so there's quite a bit of worms in here. I'm just going to put them right on top of where I put the food. And there are eggs, of course, in here as well. So those can come along and join the fun too. Awesome. So we did have some rain, y'all, and some water got into the bottom of my bin, which you can see it's a little bit too wet towards the bottom. So sorry about that, little worms. And of course that happened when we were out of town. So I'm gonna add, probably into this bin, I'll add some more leaves. They still look like they have a decent amount of food in there. All right. So the last thing I'll add is some cardboard here on top, just to help keep the light out. Cricket, why does it keep getting in there? Okay, there we go. Got it. It'll help keep the light out, and worms really love cardboard as well, so let's just tear this off. so lid is on. The worm bins are ready to do their work. All right, y'all, so in this bin, I'm gonna use for an ongoing Bokashi bin. So if you saw my update on this bin right here, this is beautiful compost that has turned. It's just about almost broken down, but it's pretty much ready to use. So I'm setting up another one. Just, you know, I'll link the videos I'll link my videos that I did on how to set up the Bokashi and how to do the Bokashi. But this is what this is going to use. So this is going to be ongoing until it's filled or full. So I'm not drilling any holes in this. I'm just going to add some of my garden soil. I'm going to layer in this Bokashi or this the scraps that I started probably about a month ago. They've been sitting in here. You know, so again, I'll just kind of keep on layering and adding, and it'll break down into beautiful compost in a couple months. So here we go. I'm so hot. It is so hot in Georgia. Oh my gosh. I know there's a heat wave just kind of going across the really the country. Lots of different weather issues going on right now, so I hope you're safe. I'm about to go inside. I might actually drown myself in this with this water hose and go inside, but I'm glad I was able to show you how to set up the worm bin. So one disclaimer, if you're ordering worms, sorry y'all, my camera cut off, but if you're ordering worms, they may try to escape your bin, so just be on the lookout. I think that's normal from what I've read. You know, new environment, they're in shock from their commute, things like that, so they will settle, trust me, but they may try to escape, so don't be too alarmed. Don't dump them and drop them. And it is also probably a good idea if you're ordering worms to go ahead and get your bin set up about a week or two before they arrive, just to kind of, you know, be sure that the temperature doesn't rise in your bin and that, you know, you're getting everything controlled, you know, in their new home. So best of luck to you guys in your new worm bin. If you do decide to set up a bin, keep me posted on how it's going, what you're using, what's working, what's not working, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.